From Fans Hobby, we have the MB-12 Master Builder Athena, or as we like to call her, Minerva. Yes, this is a third-party version of the Headmaster that was only released in Japan, but we have gotten it in the Legacy line. But this is totally different, though it's the same. And it's really cool that they're calling her Athena, because Athena is the Greek name for the Roman goddess known as Minerva, I believe. Should probably check that. Yes, Google just told me that this is the Greek version of the Roman version, Minerva. So yeah, I got this at a con. Actually, I believe it was Nickel City Comic-Con quite some time ago. I haven't had a chance to review it for you guys yet. And of course, once I do, I'll put a link in the description for you guys. Now, if you're new to the channel, I'm Captain Kyle. Welcome aboard. If you've been watching for a while, thanks so much for coming back. That is totally awesome. So let's play around with Minerva, aka Athena, and have some fun along the way. Be right back. All right, so with my handy knife, I am going to, oh, it doesn't look like there's tape, but it does make it easier to pop open the sides. But that's going aside in case one of my feline friends decides to join us. So it is a cool looking box. It has pictures of her and her Headmaster companion on here. So trying to read the name, if it actually gives a name on the box for the Headmaster. It says Junior Power Dryer. It's supposed to be driver, but they used a Y instead of a V. So whoopsie. So what's interesting is the Headmaster Juniors, they didn't have robot names and Headmaster names. What they had was the name of the person in the armor who became the head of the Transtector, which was the Transformer body. And taking this out, there are instructions, which is good, because I'll probably need them. I found Fans Hobby isn't horrendous when it comes to being complex, but it's not the easiest either. Comes with a nice little card showing Athena there. Woohoo. It comes with stickers that I will eventually put on, the instructions, a plastic bag, and of course the vehicle itself still inside the plastic prison. So let's see here. And the Headmaster figure of, I guess we would call her Athena, and some additional accessories in there, which we'll figure out. And the Porsche 959, which is a weird vehicle to send when there is a medical emergency. But whatevs. Well, looks cool. And it has some additional plastic and padding to protect it, so that's a good thing. And because she is in vehicle mode, I am going to put her on the turntable of doom, and we are going to examine the vehicle mode first. Then we'll get to all the fun Jean-Claude Van Damme stuff. But you can see on the back the various forms, so that's all you want to see. See ya later. So let's open up this little bag of accessories. And the first thing that comes out is Athena's head, or Headmaster. There are also two items which appear to be weapons. I think if I fold them open, they are weapons. I am not sure how they attach yet, but we'll figure it out. And there is a little baggie in here with a helmet and an alternate face. I'm not sure if we're going to need to use the helmet or not until we get through the instructions. And let's take a look at the instructions and see if it indeed says what we need to do in vehicle mode. And there are apparently 104 steps. That's a lot of steps. And it looks like we're probably going to need the helmet, but we'll leave the alternative face in here for now. So there's everything, 104 steps. Wow. And I'm thinking I'm going to very quickly put on the stickers just because she looks kind of blah without them. Well, I put on some of the stickers, and if I didn't put them on perfectly, well, they actually give you some extras of the crosses, which is nice. Well, let's take a look here. First of all, we have Athena, the Headmaster, whose arms move all the way around, which is nice. The head, interestingly enough, turns all the way around. That's also nice. The legs are separate, but there's no Jean-Claude Van Damme, but does, I think, bend at the knee. So that's nice. Kind of hard to show you with all the stuff. The arms actually do kind of move apart at the shoulder. The legs move apart slightly, and she can bow, but there's no twisting at the waist. Not much that we can expect from this Headmaster figure. Now the guns, I don't know if they attach in vehicle mode. It looks like you can take this entire top off and attach the guns inside. So that's kind of neat. Weapon storage. The driver is a pain in the ass to get in, and I'm just going to kind of fold her over. The crown piece can go back here, like so, and the driver is still a pain in the ass to get in. But I kind of got her in there. Good enough. All right, so looking at the car, it's got some neat things. For example, the Side view mirrors are movable. In fact, you can turn them like so, as well as flip them in when you're parking, or bring them out to see behind. You'd think they're from another planet. Advanced robots, rear view cameras maybe? But looks like a cool car. You can tell on the bottom it's more than meets the eye. But let's see a roll test. Pretty smooth. Nice. So overall, I have to say, very nice vehicle mode. Looks good from all sides. I only put some of the stickers on, the license plate stuff, and the stickers. There's more stickers that you're supposed to put on when she's in robot mode, and we'll see if we can do that or if I'm gonna bother. I mean, there's also stickers that go inside the console, and I have to really look at the instructions to get those in the proper places, so we'll see about that. But all right, we really want to see her robot mode, so let's do that. All right, and there is Minerva in her robot mode, fully armed, ready to rumble. Okay, well, maybe not rumble, but she's definitely in her warrior state, which is interesting because, you know, she's supposed to save lives. And I have to say the transformation, it showed 104 steps. Some of those steps were like, they could have been consolidated into one, but I'm gonna admit that I was a little unsure about some parts. So I double checked on another YouTuber's channel and go mainly about the arms, because the shoulders, I wasn't quite sure, wasn't quite clear on the instructions how to configure those, but I think they're all good. So let's take a look first of all at the deco. It's overall nice. She looks like Minerva. Now, a couple things I don't like about this design. The back of the legs, you fold up the doors and attach them, which is great, except it's in one post and it can pop out pretty easily. That's the main thing. And these shoulders are kind of just here, so you can definitely move them in weird directions if you want to. But let's go over some posability and we'll go from there. So first of all, you know what I want to see. Because it's third party and, you know, cost me a chunk of change. This was not sent to me by anyone for free. I wish. There she is. Full Jean-Claude Van Damme, toes up. Not a problem. But again, you'll notice that just flipped out real easy. There's a nice little post. It plugs in, just doesn't seem to want to stay. If you really touch that plate at all, it will pop out. And I'm not seeing any secondary point of contact for it to stay in place. So that's a shame. Ankle swivels. Doesn't really have ankle swivels. Oh, wait, a little bit, maybe? Like a hair's breadth worth of ankle swivels. So you can put her in a slightly wider stance. Kicking forward, there you go. Kicking back, because of the design, yeah, kind of hits this spot here. Can't kick backwards very much. Side kick, pretty high. You can do the split side kick. The only way I could do the Jean-Claude Van Damme was by going forward first and then to the side. So crescent kick might work. Bending at the knee, absolutely, very nicely. Swiveling, well, you can swivel that far. You move the leg off to the side. It's pretty much the ball joint. So there's a really big ball joint there. So it can swivel, but it is limited by the ball joint. And if you want to swivel all the way around, yeah, I got to get that piece back in again. Then, yeah, you got to go kind of off to the side. Twisting at the waist, let's see. She can somewhat. If I take off the backpack, she certainly can. So the problem I'm finding is that these little things here, which I had to twist a couple times to get into that position, are not going flush. I'm gonna see if I can adjust real quick, because sometimes the issue is this. All right, looks like I popped it properly into place. Let's try that again. So there's a little tab on that holds those two pieces together, and it looks like one of them did not get properly put into place. So trying again. So she can twist back and forth all the way around, does not seem to want to go. Wait, there we go. If you kind of tilt her forward, so yeah, it's not the smoothest process, but you can get her all the way around. Not something I'm likely to do again. Arms. So the arms here have these major ass shoulder pads. So I want to make sure the shoulder pad is in position, and the arm can go all the way around, but you will run into a little bit of this kibble back here. I'm taking this gun off because it decided to come off. In fact, I'll take both guns off. Is there stuff I want to show about the hands? As far as off to the side, yeah, but she kind of pops herself in the head with her shoulder pad. Bends at the elbow. Does have a swivel, that is nice. Hands rotate all the way around, can even kind of go up in a weird position. Thumb, it's articulated, goes all the way out. The fingers, as one piece, will move So she has masterpiece style guns with a little slot that goes into her palm, and then you can close the fingers around it. So then she's Athena's got a gun, and so forth. I'm not going to put the other one in right now. A lot of waist mobility as well, as far as moving forward and doing a little bit of an ab crunch side to side. So there's a good amount of mobility in there too. Head can turn all the way around. She can kind of look to the side, tilt a little bit. So overall, very posable figure. Again, just be careful of these back pieces. They seem to be behaving for the moment. Now her chest, I'm going to take the gun out of the way because the chest opens so you can see her boobs. No, she doesn't have boobs. She's a robot, you pervs. Chest open so you can see her stats. Her stats are in there. Now, if I remove the head, which I'm going to do so carefully as I can, the stats don't change. So there's no gimmick here based on the head that is attached. It's just her stats. But for a feminine looking robot, I'll definitely say, especially with the hips, definitely looks like a female Autobot. Pretty posable, put again some weapons in her hand. I don't really like the whole changing face gimmick, so I'm not going to bother doing that. But it's there if you're one of those people who like that. Now, while she doesn't have ankle swivels, you can maneuver the feet back and forth. So as you can see on the back leg, I'm actually moving the leg so she can actually stand in this awkward position. But overall, I have to say, really nice job, Fans Hobby. Very posable, a clever transformation, even if a couple parts are a little meh as far as just staying in place. But I mean, you even have to maneuver the side view mirrors, so that's kind of cool. I'm trying to maneuver her so she is more looking up and not down. But overall, I like her. Now, I got her at, as I said, Niagara Falls Comic-Con. I saw her for much more at TFCon. I'm not going to mention the vendor's name, but they were a prominent vendor. So I would actually suggest, if you are at other cons that are not Transformer cons, keep an eye out for Transformers, because since it's not a Transformer-centric con, sometimes the vendors are a little more willing to bargain or have prices that are a little less than they might have at a Transformers con. That's just my observation. I mean, you can still get good deals at TFCon and BotCon or wherever, but if it's not Transformers focused, first of all, they're probably not going to have only Transformers. It's probably going to be just part of what they have, unless it's me there, and then it's pretty much going to be Transformers. But if you go to that con, they're not necessarily going to be as focused on getting every dollar out of every Transformer as they can. And they may not also be only Transformer dealers, so they may not price them as high as someone who is, I'm not going to say more familiar with the demand, but I'm going to say more familiar with the fanaticism. People at Transformer cons, they're there for Transformers, they want their holy grails, they're going to get them, and sometimes the prices kind of reflect that kind of fanaticism. The vendor may pump it up a little bit. At a more general Comic-Con, they may not be as concerned with pumping up Transformer prices because they have a lot of different stuff. Not saying vendors are bad. I'm not saying every vendor does this. But at a Transformers con, the vendor knows he's going to sell Transformers. At a more general con, there's a lot of stuff a vendor could be trying to sell, and therefore he might not price it as high, or he might be willing to bargain lower than at Transformers con. No offense to my vendor friends, giving away all your secrets. But anyways, I like Athena here. Very cool masterpiece style Fans Hobby toy. I'm going to put a link in the description. I think it's fun. And if you're having fun, by all means, feel free to subscribe. That'd be awesome. Another way to support the channel, if you like this shirt, there's a link in the description. There's also, again, my new shirt, Soundwave and His Amazing Friends, which you can find at the same link in various colors. And while you're mulling over Athena here, actually check out this video over here, which is a number of female Autobots merging together into Orthea. Cool video to watch. And we will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.